just thought I'd take a short break just to let you know about becoming a Breakout Bestie. So we've launched a brand new subscription service for the small businesses that need us in your pocket. So why do you need to become a Breakout Bestie? Well, it's just a monthly subscription that gives you access to us when you need us. There's a closed group where you can ask us any question you need. There's also an anonymous posting on, so if you've got clients in the same group, you can ask us anything and we'll get back to you. Sometimes that'll be a quick answer, other times it might be that we need a bit more of an in-depth chat. There'll also be posts and information on the latest trends, the latest strategies for social media, upcoming things from HMRC that you may have missed, just anything you need to make your life easier to run your business. You'll also have access to our client base and money off discounts and vouchers for various services we've got coming out. This is brand new, it's only just been launched, so have a look, go on our website under Besties and sign up soon.
It's a lot of kind of like being a chameleon when it comes to working in social media management, because you are so many different people. Keeps you on your toes, that's for sure.
Hi and welcome to Business Rainbows and Unicorns, where there's no such thing as failure if you don't try. This podcast is specifically for business owners or wannabe business owners. Say you've got a side hustle, or you've got a passion for something and you think it'd be absolutely amazing, or you see people that do amazing things with their passions and what they enjoy doing. Well, you can do that. So please subscribe and we hope you enjoy listening to this episode.
Hello and welcome to Breakout Business Rainbows and Unicorns, where there's no such thing as failure if you don't try. This week, you may have realised I'm not Farley. I know. I've finally made my podcast debut. She hadn't asked me to be a guest as of yet. As you know, I'm very upset about it. So while she's away this week, I thought, what better time to make the debut than to completely take over. So my podcast coming soon. But I thought today what I would do, I say we, it's not we, it's just me. What I would do today is kind of explain a little bit about Nisha and what I do at Breakout. Because, I mean, this week is a prime example of everybody that walks in the door and phones, where's Andy? Where's Farley? Is that Farley? Is that Andy? And they are fabulous and very, very, very talented. I am not them, however. I'm not quite as good with tech. And if you ask me anything about maths, you might as well have asked the brick wall. I don't know. It goes over my head. So I can tell you what I can do, because that is a question I am always asked. Well, what do you do? If tech is Andy and sort of social media and accounts is Farley, what do you do? And that is a great question, because other than being the personality hire, I do a lot of other things. But they're all in the background, so nobody often sees them. To give you a bit of backstory, so I applied for this job just over a year ago. I've been here for a year. I found it on social media, actually, and it was sent to me by a friend. And they were like, you could probably do this. And I was reading it thinking, I think I could do that. I'm not 100%, but, you know, I'll give it my best go. I'm not entirely illiterate when it comes to computers. I know enough. Surprisingly, I know this might come as a shock, I used to be the tech support at my old job. I was the one that knew the most tech stuff. Now, that's absurd to hear, because if you've been here enough, you will realise me and printers are not friends. That printer, God love it, we love it, but not friends. So the fact that I was tech support is wild. But I have a background in retail management. Dun dun dun. So I was a retail manager for 6 years. I got the job when I was 16. It was just my little Saturday job, and I loved it. And then before you know it, I was doing my apprenticeship, where I got a level 2 in customer service Bet you didn't know that was a thing, because I didn't either. And I passed that, and then I did my management training, and then I just did more management training. And then I moved to a new store. So I ended up having years and years worth of experience. But my God, corporate world was an interesting moment. And it just got to a point where I was like, do you know what? This isn't for me anymore. And I don't love it. It doesn't make me happy. And that's my one piece of advice to anybody. If your job doesn't make you happy, it is not worth it. Not worth stress. Leave it. Start something else. Anything else. You want an idea, you want to start your small business, do it. You will definitely never regret it. So that's kind of what I was doing for 6 years. So this was a different pace of life. But my skills were applicable in some ways. So I kind of just dove head first and thought, we'll give it a go. If it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. So when I got the job here, they said to me, I can go into sort of accounting and learn how to do bookkeeping. I can go into tech support and learn how to do websites, or I can go into the social media side of things. Immediately, social media was my interest. I'd already done a little bit. I knew enough about it. But then I learned even more about it from Farley, from listening to her in meetings, from just talking to her. And I developed sort of a love for it, because not only is it you make things look gorgeous and pretty, but there's all the analytics side of marketing as well. It's knowing the numbers, seeing the reach grow. That's all very interesting and satisfying. You get a lot of job satisfaction from social media, I would say, because you post something and you see it do great and you feel very satisfied. And I think after years of working in retail, where it's the same thing for hours a day, you really lose your job satisfaction. And I was really sort of craving that. And this was a great way to do it. I kind of realised then I had a talent for it and I had a passion for it as well. So that kind of developed into a love of designing as well. So Farley, I was very lucky that Farley kind of gave me the reins for some of our social media clients. A lot of you know that we are somewhere that people outsource to. So say you're too busy or you don't have an interest in social media, you can then come to us and go, this is all of my things, this is my branding, this is who we are and what we do. I'm not interested in it. I don't want to do it. I don't have time for it. Perfectly fine. So I do that for a lot of the businesses that we work with. That's essentially what takes up the bulk of my time, I would say. But I really enjoy doing it. It's just really interesting because people have no idea that you're somebody's, like a brand's entire business online is you. So when you hear, like I walk about and I hear people talk about different businesses in the village and you're like, yeah, that's me. That's actually me that said that. It's challenging, comes with its challenges, I won't lie, because every brand is so different, so different. You know, no two are the same, and you've got to really embody the voice of these different businesses and understand that, okay, well, they would speak like this, but another business would never do a joke. They would never be jokey. They want to be very serious. So it's a lot of kind of like being a chameleon when it comes to working in social media management, because you are so many different people. Keeps you on your toes, that's for sure. Especially when you get new clients that come in, and some of them, I think Farley will tell you, some of them are not that interesting. Look, you know, as a girly girl, I love certain accounts, and there are some accounts like contracting and building and things like that where a lot of it goes over my head, and I've had to really sit and learn and research about machines and compost and fences, which to me is not the most interesting thing in the world, but I try my hardest to make it interesting and make good content. But I kind of enjoy the challenge every once in a while, you know. Can't have anything too samey, otherwise you'll get lazy with it. So I think it's good. It's good to mix things up. But not only are we outsourced to, so people will just give us their socials accounts, we do lots of different little bits. So we can sit and make, 10 static images that you can reuse on your page. That's all within your own branding. I've learned a lot about design, a lot about branding kits and colours and stuff. And that's not just from Farley. A shout out to Lou from Toodle Pip, because literally just listening to that woman speak and work, I have learned so much. No way am I that level. I am never going to be that level. She is the most talented. But I've just sort of taken little nuggets of wisdom from Andy, from Farley, from Lou, from all the different people in the space to kind of build my knowledge and my bank of what I know. And I think I'm doing all right. No complaints yet. Farley obviously takes the lead with things like workshops and appointments and such, but I am on hand and can help with that kind of thing also. So it's not always just her. So like this week, she's on holiday. You can come and see me. I don't bite. I'm quite chilled, and my cup of tea skills are all right. They're not, I'm better at designing and social media than I am making tea, but I will still make you a cuppa, I promise. So the love of branding and design kind of built from there. So I focused on social media. Then I realised I really enjoyed content creation. So sitting and making statics on Canva, making things cohesive. And the more I did it, the more I realised I had a bit of a talent for it. So Farley kind of recognised that, and so did Andy. And they helped me build my confidence in it. And now I'm sort of the go-to designer of the group. So it's quite interesting because the three of us all play off of each other. So all three of us have different strengths in different areas. So Farley might have the brilliant idea. I can then make it visually look right and make the steps happen. And then Andy does all of the technical side of making it happen. So we're kind of like a little dream team, hence the whole Besties service. So if you don't know, get to know. We do our Besties scheme, which is essentially you get all three of us for the price of one, essentially. We are in your pocket as much as you need and as and when you need. That's kind of the beauty of us having three different areas that we're skilled in, because you can sit one day and figure out your accounts with Farley. You can sit the next day and do a social media plan for the month with me. And then the next day you can sit with Andy and update your website, all for a price per month. And you can do that as much or as little as you need, and we can figure that out with you. Not only in Breakout, but with the whole Besties scheme. Another thing that I am busy doing a lot of the time is helping our besties and our people on retainers, and especially Farley, I'm guessing you all know by now, with accountability. So keeping you and Farley on track to your goals. So you say you've got this great idea, this great event or new product that you want to launch, new subscription service, new anything like that. You tell me what it is, but you're like, I don't know how to get there. I don't know how to make this a reality. For example, Philippa Gunn came to us with her idea of art in a box. I don't know if you've seen it. You probably have seen it because we've been posting it everywhere because we're very excited for Phil. So she's a local artist, if you don't know her. She teaches in local schools. She does art workshops. But she decided she wanted to branch out into sort of postal boxes. So she puts together all of the things you need and an online tutorial. So right to your door, you get your paints and everything. You get your tutorial to be able to paint it at home. She knew she wanted to do this, but she did not know how to make it a reality. So sitting with me, we start making the steps. Okay, well, we need to do this. We need to make this. We need to create the leaflets for it. We need to create the branding for it. We need to design the packaging. We need to make sure it's on the website. We need to then make sure we're putting it on different websites. We've got to think about the social media plan for it. We've got to take the content. There's so much that goes into little ideas like that, that it can feel really overwhelming as a business owner, especially if you're on your own. So we, and especially I, can sit with you and make these ideas become realities through just planning, having accountability, having someone to sit and bounce off, and who knows enough technically and design-wise to make these things happen for you, without taking any of the fun away from it. So I do that as well. So we've covered social media, designing, accountability, and then sort of the last thing I have dabbled my toes in is a bit of event management. So this came about when Farley told me that she wanted to start doing networking. So she was really excited about it, wanted to run her own networking meetings. And she went, you plan it, design it, plan it, just tell me when to attend. And I was really nervous, and I was like, oh God, I'm not going to be able to do that. I smashed it. So I then found a love for planning. I quite enjoy the sitting and thinking strategically, this needs to happen, this needs to happen. So I started planning our networking meetings, what that would entail, making sure there was drink, there was advertising going out, people knew where it was, when it was, and all the little things. If you've been to one of our networking meetings, you know, especially the ones in Sudbury before it unfortunately closed, name badges and all that sort of things. So planning all the way down to all the little details to make sure that events are successful. And I found that I really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed putting on an event that people enjoyed. That then branched me into helping out with Your Suffolk Wedding, which was a business that Farley and Corinne from C Event Hire had started together. And then Farley said, here you go. Here's a little project for you to work on. Go away and see how you get on. And again, absolutely loved it. Loved planning fairs, planning, you know, all the details and the where, what, why, wherefore, everything. And I kind of found just a brand new love for it. It kind of went hand in hand with what I was already doing. So event management is very much like accountability, organisation, that kind of thing that I do for businesses and products. But then also it dabbled in all of my designing skills and my branding and making sure that everything was cohesive. It all really flows nicely together. Whilst I don't do as much of it now because my workload has increased, which is amazing. We are so grateful all the time to everybody that we help, whether it be a 10-minute, 15-minute appointment or an hour-long appointment to doing your social media full-time. We are so thankful for it. But yeah, it just means that my retainer clients, my monthly clients that are outsourced to us, that I do all of their social media presence for, that's increased recently. So I don't do as much events as I would have liked to at the moment. But that means if anybody watching has anything planned or wants to make something happen, then get in touch, because I would love to help. I would like to say I'm quite good at it these days. I'm getting there. So if you have anything in the pipeline or you're sat milling on an idea for an event in the local area, literally could be anything, but you're just unsure how to make the correct steps, how to find your venue, anything like that, I'm kind of the one for the job. So pop in and see me, send me an email, send me a message, and we can get planning, get the ball rolling, because I'm absolutely loving dabbling in events as well as social media. So that is your summary of what does Nisha do at Breakout. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast debut of myself. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoy any of our episodes, give it a like, a comment, a share. As small business owners, you know it means the world for us to be shared around. So thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to this episode. We really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please share with a friend who you think needs a bit of help with starting a business or even their small business, which they've already got going. Please like and subscribe to our podcast, which always helps a small business or small podcast like us. And check the show notes. We all have everything in there relating to the episode which you might need, might want to read, and links to anyone we've interviewed and certain subjects we've spoken about. And thanks for listening.